This is Denmark's highest peak, Møllehøj, but it wasn't always Denmark's highest point.
Is what used to be the highest point in Denmark.
And before that, there were other peaks that were thought to be the highest. Out of all the highest points in Europe, this is one of the smallest, only third from the bottom. So what's going on here, and why is there so much controversy for such a small point?
This has been a huge odyssey and a big controversy for Denmark.
Let me share the story while we make our way to the peaks. You might think this peak was supposed to be easy, but I'm Natasha Bergen, and there is always some kind of obstacle.
What are we gonna do? Will we ever reach the peak?
And it all starts on a train. The plan was simple. Take the train to Skanderborg, get the bus to Tebstrup, and from there walk to the first peak and then to the second. If I had time, I'd go to the third via taxi.
I'm in a place called... oh, I've forgotten the name of it already. Skanderborg. I'm waiting for my bus that leaves at 4:21. I feel like it's just not gonna come. Then I'll walk to the peak. Or the peaks.
Like I said, technically Møllehøj is the highest point, but for years no one even considered it. Up until 1847, people thought Himmelberg, Sky Mountain, was the highest point. It looks pretty nice for a peak, better than the next contender we'll talk about.
I love how a lot of these places have little jetties and little boats. It must be a thing to have your own boat.
What do you think it would be like to live in a small Danish city? I pondered life here and made my way to the bus station.
If you want to take the bus, you need to download an app called Midtraffic and then insert your card details and then buy your thing after you've authorized it or attempted to authorize it about 5, 6, 7 times. While you panic and wait for the bus to arrive. I got my ticket to Tebstrup. Question: how long does one wait for a bus? It's been 15 minutes now since it was supposed to arrive. I feel like it's just not gonna come. Google Maps literally says 4:21. The sign says 4:21. The guy at the hostel said 4:21. There's no way I screwed this up. Is there? Oh my god.
Not too far away from Himmelberg was Jellingskovhøj, which was also thought to be the highest point of the country for a time. It was actually a burial site for early Danes from the Bronze Age, with a burial mound on the top. What's funny is, this isn't even the last time the peak was changed. I gave in. I found out sometimes you need to order the bus, like in my case on this Saturday.
So instead of a €3 bus that I paid for, there's a €40 taxi ride, a 12-minute drive. I mean, it's for a peak, so I don't mind. But obviously, it's not ideal. Do you know what I mean? And I'm in this tiny little town that's just outside the peaks. I'm not gonna go all the way to the peak. I feel like that's just silly. Logistically, there is always something weird. People in this tiny town are probably driving by being like, what is this lady doing talking to a camera on my road in this tiny town in the middle of Denmark? Yeah.
At this moment in time, I've done 14 peaks out of 50. Even though there are some small ones like this one, I still get super excited about each one. If you're curious about learning more about the project, you can check out my website where I answer why are there 50 peaks on this project, just the tip. Like a kid in a roller coaster park, I was giddy.
It's right there. This is too funny. That is what used to be the highest point in Denmark.
In the 1800s, Ejerbanhøj was measured and it was decided to be the highest, and a tower was built on top. Yes, many Danes were so excited that they'd finally found their highest peak. There were people who still argued that Gjedingskov was the tallest, so it was up for debate for quite some time. This does beg the question though, should towers and burial mounds be counted when deciding something so important as the highest point of an entire country? Well, in 1953, Danish authorities decided that the burial mound on Gjedingskov from the Bronze Age didn't count, so they chucked it out of the running, bringing us back to the champion, Ejer Bærenhøj. Well, for now.
This is too funny.
You're likely thinking what I'm thinking. This is kind of funny in the grand scheme of things. Kind of like this rain the Norse gods decided to pour down on me.
Oh no! Dark storm clouds! What are we gonna do? Will we ever reach the peak? No, I'm going to Ejer Bærenhøj. Thank you! Oh, that's so nice. Now this is what I signed up for. Get me, Denmark! Oh my god! Oh, the smell of cow shit and the Danish rain on my face. Oh yeah. Oh, that's so nice they stopped. I think that's the first time in the 15 peaks where I've actually had somebody pull over and ask if I wanted a ride, compared to the contrary of me sticking my thumb out. Oh, but look at that, the sun's coming out.
The controversy doesn't stop with Ejer Bærenhøj. In 2002, both Ejer Bærenhøj and Gjedingskov were surveyed again and both had sunk. This was due to the new general measurement method, DVR90. So, where does Målehøj come in?
There it is. The sign I've been waiting for. That is the highest peak. Målehøj, Målehøj. Look! A rainbow! How majestic is that? Wow! Oh, the camera's getting too wet. But how beautiful is that? Look at that. Målehøj, Målehøj. I really hope I'm saying that right.
In 2005, this is when it all changed for Målehøj, a place overlooked for centuries. Experts measured again and found that a completely different hill, higher than all the others, was actually the highest. This made it higher than Ejer Bærenhøj.
That used to be the peak. That was exciting. Oh, you've got a few drops on you. One sec. Better? I think before we do the almost highest point here, Ejer Bærenhøj, excuse the pronunciation, I'm going to dabble in some sugar. I'm a little bit hungry. It appears I'm not the only one interested in the highest point. You know what it is? It's a pastry from Denmark. A Danish pastry? I don't know. I think it's just pastry here. Righto, my fellow adventurers. I'm in a funny mood. We are now going to climb up this 12-meter something tower. Guess what? I can read Danish now. Danmarks højeste punkt. It is not the natural highest point in Denmark, and far from the natural highest point in the Kingdom of Denmark. Those are much higher. Let's check it out. Look, I can see all of Denmark. Okay, not yet. Well, at least we're doing a little bit of climbing today. Okay. Oh my god, I can't drop you. Welcome to Denmark's almost highest point. Here you can see some green marshmallows, cows that go moo, and some lakes. And that is the real highest point.
Sure, we made it to this peak, but we still haven't completed the mission.
Now we're gonna go to the actual peak.
Onwards to Molohoy. And look, a trail marker. The hike begins.
Molohoy means mill hill in English, and rightfully so, as it sits in the middle of a farm. When the farmer found out it was the new highest point, he was more than happy to cooperate and make a path to the now famous point.
There it is.
The biggest and probably the hardest step all day. Oh my god. Here we are. Peak 15. Yeah. Sun and the rain and the cows and the smell of cow shit. What more could you ask for?
What's hilarious is that the controversy doesn't stop. According to an international principle of topographic prominence, it's claimed that Molohoy and Eyrbanhoy are a complete top, making it an entire highest point. Now, off the record, and completely my opinion, I would say this principle was just conveniently used to say these 2 points are one because there's a fancy tower and an actual information center in front of the Eyrbanhoy. But that's just me. So where does that leave us? Probably wondering who really cares. Well, the Danes certainly care, and whoever is invested in the crown jewels of Europe cares for at least one day, like me, and I think some of you. And that brings us to the final point of the story. Yes, pun intended. Molohoy was found and conquered, like the 14 other peaks in the project. And I thought a nice celebratory lap was due.
Oh my god, are they following me?
But Bessie had different plans.
Oh my god. Yeah, no thanks. Not taking my chances. A lot of people say cows are harmless, and then you get attacked. Not gonna happen to this one. Not me. Not today, Bessie. Not today. I always do my best to try and come prepared. I mean, sometimes I forget headlamps.
I think of all the crazy monsters that are lurking in the darkness, or the bears that might suddenly start appearing in Greece.
But sometimes I bring pasta. You watching and my patron support is what is making this peak project continue. Without it, it would be a huge challenge. Whenever I do get your support, I do put it directly back into the YouTube channel, back into the Peak project. This video was the first time that I was able to use a new camera so I can show you more and hopefully give you more entertaining videos. Thanks for watching, and thanks for supporting in Patreon. Super thanks. Buy me a coffee. It all really helps. Thanks so much. And if you don't want to support in that way, every single comment, like, share actually helps a lot. And I love reading your comments. I get a little bit like sentimental when I talk about these kinds of things because you mean a lot to me. I was thinking about it on my walk to Molohoy. These ones, there's like 15 of these on the Peak project. Most of them are mountains or hikes. If I didn't vlog, if I didn't have the YouTube channel, if I didn't have you, what would this be? When I'm doing this with you, I see things that maybe I normally wouldn't, you know, because I'm looking for things that you might like to see or like different perspectives on things, and I stay in a spot for longer. So thanks for that too. Okay, I think the sun is actually setting a little bit. I need to hurry a little bit. Needs salt.